Outsiders are the new political hot items. Dark horse candidates are dominating the GOP. A brand new poll from Monmouth University finds that 2/3 of Iowa GOP caucus goers say the country needs a president from outside the government. So why are the outsiders, Donald Trump, Carly Fiorina, and Dr. Ben Carson, doing so well? And can they take the nomination from career politicians? The on-the-record political panels here, former senior advisor, President George W. Bush, Karl Rove, and editor-in-chief of LifeZette, Laura Ingraham, is here. Laura, what is it about it? Is the people always want outsiders at this stage, or are they here to stay?
No, I think there's an overriding sense from most people, Greta, in the Republican Party who aren't really rich and who don't call themselves bundlers. They don't raise a lot of money for candidates. They're just people who are trying to get by, maybe middle-income earners. Most of them have the sense that government works for a few. And government has failed on a whole host of areas and in a whole host of ways. And they are so frustrated at this point that after Republican administrations, Democrat administrations, their lives really haven't gotten any easier, any better, and it seems like America's losing ground in the world, that they're so frustrated they're kind of throwing their hands up saying, at this point, I'll take anyone who's not tainted by either all the big money in politics, the special interests, the lobbyists, or a career of having to bootlick lobbyists or run back and forth to rubber chicken dinners. And so I think there's a sense of utter failure of establishment politicians, frustration, and true anxiety about what the future holds. And so I think they're trying to send a message to the establishment, come closer to us on some of these issues, and then maybe we'll give you another look.
Karl, we've had other outsiders before. We've had Ross Perot, Pat Buchanan, Herman Cain. We've had the Tea Party raising, Cain about issues, but it always seems to be that the GOP, though, wanders back to its career politicians, whether it be, George Bush 43, or whether it is Senator McCain or Governor Romney. So is there anything different about these outsiders this time?
Well, the difference about these outsiders is that they have not held public office. Take a look at the names that you just mentioned. George W. Bush was not a Washington politician. He'd been the governor of Texas. Mitt Romney had been the governor one term of Massachusetts and a successful businessman. Remember the appeal of John McCain in 2000? It was not that he was a Washington insider. He was a Washington maverick. That was his call sign for his campaign. So we've always had outsiders, whether it's Steve Forbes, who didn't hold public office, or a Ronald Reagan, who was a California governor, who have been outside of Washington. In fact, even in 1968, when we had a consummate insider nominated by the Republicans, Richard Nixon, he made his argument that the insiders were Nelson Rockefeller and the Eastern Republicans. So
Karl,
what makes this one different is that we've got three people who've never held office before.
Karl, I bet if you went out there and asked whether governors are insiders or outsiders, I bet most American people would call them insiders. I bet they'd call President Bush 43. I mean, his family had a very deep political history. I think they call him an insider. I think they call Governor Romney an insider as well. I mean, these are, maybe they're like, not as far out as the current ones. But
I disagree, Greta. I mean, that's one of the ways that they won the nomination was not by not being the insider. Now, look, people are angry today. I get that. But let's also put this in perspective. Today, 72% of the American people are dissatisfied with the direction of the government. 77% were that in June of 2012, and the number reached 90% in October of 2008. So what we've got here is different, I think, in that, look, you can't call these people all the same. We have Ben Carson, who is a strong conservative. We have Carly Fiorina, who is a Fortune 50 CEO, and we have Donald Trump, who has a big, abrasive personality. And those people don't agree on a lot. In fact, two of them have been taking shots at each other, namely Donald Trump and Carly Fiorina.
Right. I think that's the point here. This is a resounding message to the GOP leadership. We're so frustrated. We're willing to throw in with people who have never run a government board, a department, never run a state. I mean, that's something. I don't think it's Herman Cain and Michelle Bachmann. I think this is much more profound than that.
We need to take a quick break. Laura, Karl, stick around.